And to have a deeper view about understanding Indonesian economic challenges with Transformasi, a Center for Public Policy Transformation, we have Mr. Nugroho Winarto. He's the Executive Director of Transformasi. Pak Nugroho Winarto, thank you so much for your time. For the first time, we finally have the chance of inviting Transformasi. I should pronounce it in Bahasa, right? Transformasi. It is a Center for Public Policy Transformation. Yes. Early on, we have this kind of a short report about the possible potential economic challenges is going to be faced by our new elected administration. Seems like so many homework ahead of our new president for the 5 years to come, right?
Yes,
I would like to ask a lot of standpoint you representing Transformasi. And one thing for sure, we can expect independency and neutrality also from you, because you confidently, firmly stated that this is completely non-profit organization, and
yes,
also this is also an NGO based here in Indonesia. What is actually Transformasi, Pak?
Yeah, Transformasi is by law is the Yayasan, it's the Center for Public Policy Transformation. It's the NGO that we, as independent, we aim to be a network think tank to promote the better public policy, and then we'd like to close the gaps between the policymakers as the user and then the supplier of the information, the research, the scholars, the academicians, universities, and the researchers. And then we would like to also work with the other stakeholders, like the business sectors and then the NGOs and the communities.
Speaking about public policy could be very broad and very general, right? Do you have also somehow this kind of specific particular sectors you only focus on working on to talk about creating this kind of good public policy?
Yeah, we would like to concentrate more on the regional leaders, the local governments, and the districts and the provincial level as well. So we would like to provide some support for them in terms of better policy making. What we call as the evidence-based policy making. And then the sector is actually it's quite big, and then we'd like to select several teams. First is to support the cities, governments, the second about the districts in terms of job creations and rural connectivities, and also we would like to work with the districts that marine and the oceans, fisheries as well. And then one of the other teams is job creation. It's more or less several teams that works in the informal sectors, in the rural or the urban areas. So the government needs to provide them with better jobs, good jobs. It means that the government needs to provide the necessary conditions that can boost our economic growth by double digit, around 10% in the next few years, and then must provide around 4 million jobs per year instead of 1 million jobs currently happening. Because if not, then the poverty levels of our society become growing bigger and bigger, and then the government also needs to give them support the social expenditures, social what we call the social safety net, etc., etc. That's will be better if they can get a higher income through the good jobs, will reduce our poverty level.
I see.
But it's not easy. It's not an easy task. A lot of policy changes been made. A lot of effort must be done, and then through collaboration or cooperation by all the government sectors, especially in the industry, trade, investment, as well as the agrarian body, how to facilitate the better business licenses and then provide the lands to facilitate the investors. That's one of the most challenges.
I see. President Jokowi, along with his new cabinet and also administration, have some strong commitment to be like pro-growth, pro-market and business-friendly government. I would like to ask you for the later session, what is in your standpoint representing Transformasi, about what can be expected from our new government, as well as talking about economic choices facing the next president of this policy. Economic Bus will be back soon with more from Mr. Nugroho Winarto. He is Executive Director, Transformasi. You are watching Economic Bus. We still have Mr. Nugroho Winarto. He is Executive Director at Transformasi to share his view of the topic that we bring up in this talk show. Transformasi is a center for public policy transformation. It's NGO, and of course this is like non-profit organization. Speaking about being non-profit organization, I believe doing this kind of research will cost you a lot of fortune. It's to have a very carefully calculated as well by the time you are going to the other part of Indonesia. Who is then Transformasi donor? I've been wondering about this. Is there any opportunity for you to other foundations, let's say international agencies or even private sectors, to fund Transformasi's programs and also activities?
Currently we receiving support from two sources. One is the Packard Foundation. If you familiar with the SP, computer is the Packard Foundation, but mostly for our training program and the research in marine and fisheries sectors. And the second is we receive support also from Rajawali Foundations on how we conduct the training and the research for the district leaders and mayors. That's two. And then we would like to seek other support from the international foundation and other donors as well.
How will you ensure the trustworthy from our public, from Indonesian people in general? Because by the time we talk about NGO or a non-profit organization, we ask about the independency. We are afraid sometimes that we have this kind of a hidden agenda or interest. How will you ensure us that none such thing will happen with Transformasi?
Yeah,
that your independence can be expected. You have this kind of huge fund resources, let's say, from several sources.
Yeah, in terms of our governance system, we would like to be independent, and then we have an interest to how to support the Indonesian people, Indonesian governments, and the Indonesian community as well. So we provide open websites, and then we will facilitate forums for many stakeholders as well, and then the advisory boards convince some scholars and respected people. Currently we have several senior people, Pak Sarwono, Kusmat Maja, with us in terms of advise us on the public policy issue and the governance relations, and we will invite other scholars as well to support our foundation.
Economic Buses program can also be through startup as Channel 1 Singapore and MNC International. With me, Edwin Suryadata, Mr. Nugroho Winarto is Executive Director at Transformasi. Transformasi is a Center for Public Policy Transformation. Another short information for you, Mr. Nugroho just informed me that this particular organization has just been established very recent, about last year. Is that right? So, now during a year of the journey, what will be your main expectation for the existence, the presence, also strategic role Transformasi could play for the years and the nearest future ahead?
Yeah, the first thing that we would like to share with you is how to increase the job creation, the good jobs for the country. It's one of the main challenges of the new governments, because in the past the SPY government they have a lot of programs, and then the income mostly comes from the selling of the natural resource goods.
Yeah.
It's mining and palm oil, and then
things are going differently, right?
yes,
When we
and
talk
because of the economic slowdown in the world, that's what we call the commodity boom is over. Right now, is the price of coal and all the gold as well is getting down and down.
dramatically.
Yes, and then what will be the future of Indonesian economy? So, in the past, during the Suharto era, 88 to 1995, there was a period that Indonesia manufacturing sector is very dramatically increased.
Yeah.
And recently, the last 10 years or 15 years, it's getting smaller proportion.
Agree.
And we have around 2 million people entering the job markets every year during SBY government. And the good jobs provided by the business is only 850,000.
You have this kind of huge imbalances then.
Yes, there's 1,150,000 must go to the informal sectors. And mostly they are just graduated from primary school or secondary school. So that's the challenge for the new government, how to provide good jobs for the millions people.
That's the bottom line we should underline. Right? And Pak Nugroho, it has happened that you brought us several books. This is the economic choices facing the next president. This is written by the emeritus professor of economics, Boston University, Gustav Lapanek. Let's talk about this in more detail because it has happened that Transformasi also involved behind this results. And make sure you are staying with us on Economic Bus. We are going to discuss more about understanding Indonesian economic challenges with Transformasi, Center for Public Policy Transformation. This is MNC Business Channel. You are staying with us on Economic Bus. We will bring our discussion about understanding Indonesian economic challenges with Transformasi. Transformasi is a Center for Public Policy Transformation. It's already been years, been established now. For the next futures, what programs you would like to create and realize here in Indonesia? Have you started several programs already on the field?
Yes, currently we started, the first is about these books, how we provide advice to the governments on the strategy to increase the good jobs in the country. There are two scenarios. One is the business as usual with one-digit growth, like 5% a year, and then the governments can facilitate on the employment around
Okay, you can show to the camera also in the meantime.
Yes.
This book.
One
So
million
for
jobs.
business as usual, it's like at least 5% growth and 1 million good jobs every year.
Yes, ma'am.
Will that ratio make sense given the current economic situation and development in Indonesia? So when we talk about expectation of having 1 million good jobs every year and at least level 5% growth.
Yeah, it's not enough for the people.
We need more rooms to grow, yeah?
Because currently every year there are 2 million people that entering the job market, and then the good jobs provided on the.
We would like to greet the business people in Singapore with vast infrastructure program that outlook the economic and social issue for your business. We are now still discussing about understanding Indonesian economic challenges with Transformasi, Center for Public Policy Transformation, with Mr. Nugroho as the Executive Director at Transformasi. Early on in the first session, we talked about the gap between the policymakers or as the users and also the researchers who can provide a good results, reference, and also recommendation. How is it progressing now when we talk about 2014 moving to 2015? Have you been able at least somehow to minimize or ease this kind of gap in between?
Yeah, we have several activities in 2014 in terms of facilitate the forums between the local leaders and then the national leaders. We conducted in last August a discussion on the train with the vice ministers of transportation under the SPY government to talk with several bupatis and wali kotas how to optimize the use of the double track train in the coast of Java. So it's already built and then the potential is huge, but the utilization is still not optimal. So how to reduce the cost of logistics, because mostly all the goods transported using the main roads of north coast of Java, and then if some of them can be moved to being carried by the train, will be reduce the cost.
Talk about the effectiveness and efficiency, right? Mr. Nugroho, on your personal standpoint, why is it sometimes becoming a very difficult and challenging situation? By the time we talk about, we have already actually a set of ideal, very good concept or design on the public or policy thing. But by the time we talk about put it into practice or implement it, it becomes another story. What's behind this? During the break, we talk about this kind of good coordination and synergy in between ministries and government bodies. You yourself, what is your opinion on this?
Yeah, a lot of research being done, produce a lot of papers and then studies, and but in one way, a lot of supply of this research result, it's didn't connect it well with the policymakers in terms of their immediate needs. So there's a gap between the user and then the supplier of the information. And what we would like to act the role as to bridge the gaps between this the user and the supplier of the information, and try to collaborate with these stakeholders, and then to become a better policy support, policy making. That's one of the ideas we're working on.
I see. In the field, we have also several NGOs and organizations working on the same field like you, doing the research and giving input, reference, recommendation to our government. Then what makes actually Transformasi difference compared to other NGOs?
Yeah, we would like to work more on the capacity building in terms of research and training, that providing a venue for these policymakers, especially the local ones, the regional ones, and the districts and the provincial levels. There needs a lot of support in the capacity building, especially at the key staff, on better managed development in terms of better public policy. We would like to collaborate with the local leaders, not to put advocacy. No, we would like to more on the dialogue, based on the mutual benefits among the parties.
So you're open up also to this kind of input and sharing, discussion and prospect in terms of understanding the best approach applied for each of these kind of local and also regional leaders. Very strong and nice mission. This is another session of this, Mr. Lee. More on the discussion about understanding Indonesian economic challenges with Transformasi, a Center for Public Policy Transformation, will be brought to you soon. Stay with us on Economic Buzz. This is MNC Business Channel and Startup Asia Singapore. So not only talking about understanding Indonesian economic challenges with Transformasi, a Center for Public Policy Transformation, we're going to have another view from Mr. Nugroho Executive Director of Transformasi, to conclude his view toward our topic. But before here, the book I'm holding on my hand is The Economic Choices Facing the Next President. This is a book written by the Emeritus Professor of Economics from Boston University, Professor Gustav Papanya can. Good news for you, you can actually access toward any information and get the idea how to acquire this book through the official homepage of Transformasi at www.transformasi.org. You can get the idea how to acquire this book. Is that right? That's the official homepage, www.transformasi.org. What is the main expectation by the time people come into your homepage, accessing information and get an idea about what is the area of working of transformation? How will you promote and campaign more about the strategic role of Transformasi?
Yeah, but right now we approaching the national and local government. Try to open up new industrial estates, possibly in Central Java, several districts in Central Java and West Java, that close to the harbor, that can facilitate the investors with the support from the national level governments, and then provide the support for the workers, for the laborers, not for the companies, in terms of education or health, transportation or housing, which still allowed under the WTO regulations, in order to match the lower wage in the Central Java and the West Java, to support the labor-intensive manufacturing industries, because our futures must be a lot of exports needs to be made by Indonesians, because we have to get our foreign reserve, foreign funds.
Otherwise, our economic activity cannot be covered anymore, right? No, this is a very interesting question I asked you early on. How close are you now already working with the Indonesian government in terms of voicing your aspiration and giving recommendation to them? Are you already well engaged with the Indonesian government? The new one, of course.
Yeah, we have a public forums to launch these books. Presented by at that time is Pak Karul Tanjung, former coordinating minister for economic affairs, and also by Pak Sofyan Jalil, the current coordinating minister for economic affairs. The authors, Pak Gustaf Papanex, already working in Indonesia for quite long years. He's right now is 88 years old, and supported by others, two others writers, Dr. Raden Pardede and Professor Suhasil Nazar.
Yes, you have very competent and relevant person, the expert as well. Well, again, for you viewers who would like to acquire this book, you can just log on and get more information, the further detailed info to www.transformasi.org. Mr. Nugroho Winarto, you are the Executive Director at Transformasi. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Best luck for Transformasi. Thank you for this. And that's wrap up our talk show for this time. Hope to have you soon in the next Economic Buzz with other issue to bring up in discussion. I'm Edwin Suryata. Wishing you best luck in doing your business today. Let's talk about your business in eBus on your MNC business. We are the first business channel in English. Terima kasih banyak Bapak. Thank you so much.